24 minutes in the books in game one of the Eastern Conference Finals, and those Cleveland Cavaliers with Donovan Mitchell scoring 16 and sparking a 21-8 run to end the half. Have the Cavs on top of the Knicks at the Garden, 48-46. NBA halftime is presented by Hyundai. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. Hasn't been the prettiest half, but a lot of defense, a lot of tough looks, and Donovan Mitchell with 16.
Well, number one, it was great defense by the Knicks to get, but some of those turnovers, the Cavs, man, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, it's like you don't know which Cavs team you're going to get. They should be up more. To be honest with you, 11 turnovers and a half, because the Knicks, to me, did not play well. They got a nice, when Mitchell Robinson came in the game, they got a nice little spurt. But, man, the Cavs going to have to take care of the ball, man, plain and simple.
Nearly a third of the Knicks' points coming off Cleveland turnovers. And the epic moment presented by Hyundai gives you a look at the numbers from the first half, 48-46. That's the lowest scoring half of these playoffs for the Knicks. And the lowest scoring first quarter.
11 turnovers, man. That's what you should have for the game.
11 turnovers for 15 points. Good place to start.
Yeah, I don't know how they're winning this game right now. You know, they have 17.3 turnovers versus Toronto, 15 versus Detroit. And like Chuck said, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Just, careless passing. And
Give me the
Knicks
candy.
should be up by more. But, Cleveland definitely has to take care of the ball. They know this. They understand this. However, when you get a guy like Donovan that plays well and, can keep him in the game, they can, have mistakes like this. But 11 turnovers for a half is definitely too much. Out of the remaining teams in the conference finals, they lead turnovers of 16.6.
Yep. Yeah, only the Lakers had more in these playoffs. New York, down a deuce. What you think?
Well, if you're New York, there's a recipe to possibly winning the game, and you would always say, I was interested to see who was guarding Brunson, and it's D Wade, and it's
Dean Wade, yeah.
It's not D Wade from your Miami Heat or the top 50 player all time.
Don't try to look me in the eye and throw me off and hit me with the spin move.
All of y'all are going.
We're not going to go.
Ernie's even going. Oh, my goodness.
He's coming for you.
I'm just going to see who's going to run. Go ahead, Ernie. Go ahead, Ernie. Ernie's going. I never raced the Godfather.
Because you were going. Come on, man.
I'll race y'all two knuckleheads. I'll come in second to Ernie. That's okay. I'll come in second to Ernie. Way to go, Ernest.
Thanks, Jet.
I will go second to Ernie, but I'm not worried about these two clowns. Anyway, I will never lose to y'all the whole playoffs. How's that? Bet. That good. All right. So now, Brunson, I'm like, who's going to guard him when James Harden is guarding him? He feels he has an advantage. He feels that he has an opportunity. We'll be throwing soccer balls at me at the time. So he feels he has an opportunity to get by him. Are we ever going to start the play? Waiting for you, TK. Any day up. There you go. And so now, he says, I have an opportunity to get by him because now I'm not sure. There is no shot blocker. The shot blocker's out. So now we switch off and D-Way freeze it here. Now Jared Allen's caught in no man's land. He doesn't know to protect the rim or protect the shot, and that's that drop coverage that I hate, and all of a sudden he knocks down the shot. But again, he feels he has a speed advantage against anyone when you have it. Now he's getting to the rim, and you have speed and quickness and strength. So they can get a shot off. If you're the Knicks, you can get a shot off anytime that you want.
Knicks, the best three-point shooting team in these playoffs, 2 for 19 from deep in the first
Well, they got to
half.
feel good they're only down one.
Yeah, 48-46, actually 2.
Midwest for us, you have been with the Cavaliers every single playoff game, all 14 of them so far this postseason. We heard from Donovan Mitchell, but what have you been hearing around the locker room about how they're digesting this tall task at hand?
It's not been easy.
Yeah.
7 games, you just show that up and down playoff chart for this team. But they said that's good for them because this team needed to show some grit, some resiliency to fall down and be able to respond. And this kind of is a full circle for this team. Going back to a couple years ago, that series at the Garden against the Knicks, Jared Allen became a meme after saying, look, the lights were a little bright at MSG. And now they feel like they've come a long way, making strides to step forward, to fall down 0-2 to Detroit, be able to respond, to win a Game 7 on the road.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell said this is a big step for these guys, but it's not their ultimate goal. They still have their eyes on getting actually to the finals. Both
of you two have spent time in a Cleveland Cavaliers uniform.
I actually was in that team when we lost to Knicks in the Garden.
And that's probably, that's something that weighs on the franchise mind at times. They've been climbing back post-LeBron, all of that conversation, but they know that this is, as you mentioned, Jamal, a tough task. They're not the favorites in this series. So what's it going to take?
I mean, it's going to take all hands on deck. They're going to need James Harden to play. They're going to need the bigs to play. Again, Jared Allen at that moment said the lights were too bright. We want to see where his growth is at. And even Donovan Mitchell, he's from New York. He's a New York kid. And this is a big a moment for him, opportunity to be in the Garden, which he probably grew up imagining, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So he's got to come and show the play, too. It starts with him. It starts with James Harden. But everybody's got to play because this New York Knicks team is too deep. They have a lot of pieces, even off the bench. Like we've seen Landry Shamet come in and give you 15, 18 off the bench. Deuce McBride. So they're going to need a lot of guys to step up and play big.
Yeah, for me, I think Evan Mobley is going to have to come to play. When you look at the other side, you're going to be looking at Cat. Cat's going to have that ball, and Cat's going to be doing a whole lot on one end. If you have to deal with that on one end, coming to the other end, I think you have to put him in some pressure situations.
Right.
So I'm going to expect him to be aggressive, and I'm also going to expect a lot out of Max Strus. Max Strus has been great.
So it's been Evan Mobley that maybe you're thinking is going to draw the assignment on Karl Anthony Towns, with Jared Allen being more of that free safety.
Yeah, they actually flipped it during the last round where Mobley was on Asar Thompson.
There you
and
go.
that allowed him to sort of roam around, double Cade Cunningham, knowing you've got Jared Allen on the back end.
So you think it's going to be Jared Allen that's going to draw that assignment?
I could see that for sure, and at least starting out that way, seeing how the matchups go. And then they got Dean Wade, a bigger, longer defender to throw at Jalen Brunson. They feel pretty good about those matchups. The last game they played in, I think it was February or March, against the Knicks, that was how they sort of lined it up, and they had a lot of success. They beat the Knicks in that game.
I think, the Cavs have been building towards this for 6 years. 6 or 7 years they've been building towards this exact moment. They have a lot invested in this team right now. When they've been under pressure, they've played very good basketball. They are a flawed team. You will see them make mistakes. But when they are under pressure, they tend to play at a very high level. We have seen that in 2 Game 7s now. And so I want to see how they handle the pressure of a team in the Knicks that's playing the best basketball in the Eastern Conference.
Well, when you talk about pressure, I think about the pressure that we saw them apply to Cade Cunningham, picking him up full court in a lot of ways, 94 feet, and that sort of pressure. That's certainly what I'm expecting from Jalen Brunson. And that guy, Iman Shumpert, he was tasked with doing that to Steph Curry back in 2016, picking up Steph dang near 94 feet.
Yeah, it's one of them things that you have to take on the assignment with somebody that's so ball dominant. This being in series. You're not saying we're going to shut you down today. We're not saying we just want to get a late contest. What we're saying is, you know what? You've earned your respect. But I now have no assignment but you. You are my assignment. You want to hold hands as much as you can. If I can hold your hand across the street, we're going to go all the way across half court with this thing. That's just what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? But you have to do that to wear into the legs because, especially on the other side, a lot of times when you take on a matchup like that, you're not looking to use your legs on the other end. You know you're going to get a little bit of rest on the other end. You want to just continue to do it to say, at the end of the game, can I get him to miss a free throw or two? At the end of the game, can I get him to have that little brain fart and throw that bad pass off a foot?
Sure.
Just one little wrinkle, one little thing that I can keep in my pocket. If I could do that, I feel like I'm successful.
Because these games oftentimes are kind of won around the margins.
Yeah, and I would say one thing about the Cavs late in that series. Remember the beginning against Detroit? They had a lot of turnovers. They were giving Detroit a lot of easy baskets.
Yeah.
They cleaned it up by the end, and that was a big game changer for Detroit. They couldn't get into easy offense off Cavs turnovers.
They couldn't get into a rhythm, and now it's the Cavaliers that are in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2018. But odds makers, they don't see them getting much further. In fact, the Cavaliers, they're 20-1 to bring home the Larry O'Brien Trophy, while all 3 other semifinalists, they are under 5-1. So, Chiney, what is it going to take for the Cavaliers to pull off an upset here, my friends?
Sis, we've got a little bit of a players-only situation here, and we always talk about the playoffs being chess and not checkers. Well, we have a new segment. Do you guys like it? Chiney's Chessboard, where we talk about matchups. Because, close your ears, New York Knicks fans, if the Cavs were to win this series, it's going to come down to cutting off the head of the snake. The snake being Jalen Brunson. Brunson is near 50, 40, 90 so far this postseason. Their first option, we all know, it's probably not going to be defensive with James Harden, so they're going to have to outscore. So let's key in on James Harden because he will have to outscore and outwork this New York Knicks squad, particularly attack Brunson. Let's see the tape, because whenever James Harden is in isolation, what did he call himself? The system, guys?
System.
These are advantages for him because he has the height to be able to overpower, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I like it. I like
Downhill.
it. Anytime he can, he tries to get you downhill, but every time he does, he brings up whoever you have on your back line, and that brings offensive rebounding chances for the Cavs.
And he's so good at snaking the pick and roll. This gets to his signature step back, or he's able to distribute. They know that he's got the hot hand here. He will have to play big. Again, if you're going up against Brunson, you're going to have to outscore. This is him on an island. He can attack. He can use his physicality. I know it's big body Brunson, but instead James does have advantages here. Now, the second piece in all of this, y'all, is you have to outwork. And this is going to have to take all of the Cleveland Cavaliers. You have to have really good pickup points if you are the Cleveland Cavaliers. We saw this in the Detroit Pistons series because Cade, by Game 7, what did he look like?
Very
I'm
fatigued.
tired, boss. He was fatigued. He shot, I think, 0 for 7.
Yep.
So let's talk about this. The pickup point was the highest that we've seen in a long time, especially particularly defensively for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Shout out to Max Strus. He was moving, as Perk would say, moving those puppies.
Puppies.
You know what's interesting, though, guys?
What's
this
that?
kind of looks a little bit familiar. Maybe more so Shump than Manny. But let's talk about the pickup
Danny did it just a longer time ago.
a longer time ago.
We don't have video.
Before we run the tape, highest average pickup distance when bringing up the ball, Cade Cunningham, which is wild. But also, we saw that the Pacers found success doing the same thing to Jalen Brunson. So let's try to revisit some history here. And if we're gonna talk defense,
talk to him,
let's do
Shump.
it. Let's go, Shump.
Hey man, let me take the glasses off for this one. Let me take the cool off, because you can't be cool when this is your job. First thing you're going to do, you want to shorten the shot clock down. Whenever they have to enter with less on the shot clock for offense, you're going to let that run. Anytime I was right here, I should have gotten in trouble because I got detached from Steph Curry. You never get detached from Steph Curry. But having somebody bring the ball up under duress all the time gets into their legs toward the end of the game, but even so during the game, it disturbs their rhythm.
Yeah.
Way to support Shump there. Way to support Shump there. If I have to identify one player here that is truly, though, the X factor, can you guys point to him for their success?
I'm going to guess Dean Wade.
I'm going to go Mobley.
Oh, you're going to go Mobley? I have to agree.
Okay,
Evan Mobley, when he plays aggressive, this is a team that has risen their level because, I mean, when he's creating, look at this. When he's bringing the ball up, this is where his gifts are maximized. James Harden is setting a brush screen for him to cook. These are the types of plays that you'll need to see versus New York.
I think that he's just such a willing passer. He doesn't get talked about enough for it. But I think that when he has the ball, he can honestly mimic a lot of the things that Cat does on the other side for New York. He can be a distributor, and he can go in spots that it is really hard to, send a double team, but for us to get help. And anybody is going to take it tough to Thompson.
And you talk about his importance of passing. I believe in the closeout game, he had 6 assists.
Willing passer.
But he's just a mismatch problem all over the floor. And this is the potential we saw in him. He was defensive player last year. He also can score, stretch the floor, knocking down threes. Like, they compared him to AD at one point. This year during regular season, not so much now in the playoffs, he's showing it.
But the good news is that he's having the highest ever amount of touches, which means they found their focal point. Guys, players only.
Players only.
How's it down?